Did you know that something as simple as salt can help protect you from the evil eye and black magic? In Islam, there are practical ways to safeguard your home, your belongings and yourself, all while relying on Allah. Today we'll reveal the 6 key places every Muslim should put salt and how to combine faith, action and prayer to stay protected. Stay tuned, because this knowledge could change the way you protect your life spiritually. Salt is one of the simplest substances in the world, yet its benefits in Islam go beyond physical use. While many people view it merely as a seasoning for food, Islam recognizes that natural elements like salt can serve as means of protection and purification when combined with faith in Allah. Salt's spiritual significance comes from its ability to cleanse, preserve, and act as a reminder of Allah's power over all creation. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ encouraged believers to seek protection through lawful means. While salt itself does not carry intrinsic power, it can be used as a tool when combined with dua, ruqyah, and remembrance of Allah. For example, sprinkling salt in the corners of a home or mixing it with water for cleaning can symbolically remove negative energy and create an environment of spiritual safety. Islam teaches that protection is ultimately from Allah alone. Salt serves as a practical way to implement this trust. When used mindfully, it reminds us that Allah has placed signs and tools in nature for our benefit. Mufti Meng often emphasizes that natural elements like salt, water, black seed and honey can help strengthen faith and awareness while acting as physical reminders of spiritual principles. Moreover, salt is historically associated with preservation and purification. Just as it preserves food from decay, it symbolizes how believers can preserve their hearts and homes from spiritual harm. The act of using salt, coupled with reciting Qur'anic verses or seeking Allah's protection, turns a simple practice into an expression of faith and reliance on the Creator. Ultimately, the spiritual power of salt in Islam lies not in the substance itself, but in the combination of faith, intention and practice. It reminds Muslims that Allah's protection is accessible in both the seen and unseen aspects of life, and that using His signs thoughtfully strengthens both heart and home. In Islam, the evil eye, Ayn al-Hasad, refers to the negative energy or harm that can occur when someone looks at you with envy or jealousy. While the person casting the gaze may not intend harm, the effect can manifest in a believer's life, whether in health, wealth, relationships, or overall well-being. Islam acknowledges this reality, but provides clear guidance on protection, combining faith, supplication, and practical steps. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us that protection against the evil eye comes primarily from Allah. He ﷺ said, "The influence of an evil eye is real." Sahih Muslim. However, Islam also empowers believers to seek means of protection. Among these means, natural elements like salt can serve as a symbolic and practical tool. Placing salt in strategic areas of the home, such as entrances, corners, or around beds, is a way to physically mark spaces of protection. When combined with dua, recitation of the Qur'an, and reinforcement of Allah, salt can help guard against unseen harm and reinforce spiritual awareness. Additionally, Muslims are encouraged to regularly recite protective verses, including Ayat al-Kursi, Al-Falah, and An-Nahas. These verses act as shields for the believer, reaffirming that ultimate safety comes from Allah alone. The use of salt complements these spiritual practices by creating a mindful routine of protection. Mufti Meng often emphasizes that seeking protection is not superstition, it is part of actively implementing faith. Just as one locks their doors to protect their home, a believer uses permissible means, including salt and prayers, to guard their spiritual and physical well-being. By combining intention, faith, and practical steps, Muslims can live confidently, knowing that the evil eye cannot touch them except by the will of Allah. Protection becomes a balance of reliance on Allah and conscious faithful action in daily life. Black magic, Sihr, is a harmful spiritual practice that seeks to manipulate or harm others through supernatural means. Islam acknowledges the reality of Sihr, but emphasizes that no magic can overpower the will of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warned believers about its dangers while teaching practical and spiritual methods to seek protection. The first and most important line of defense is faith. A strong connection with Allah, regular prayers and reliance on Him alone are essential. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Protect yourselves from the harm of the evil eye and magic." Sahih Muslim. Alongside faith, Islam permits the use of natural means as a form of protection. Salt is one such element. It has been historically used in many cultures, including Islamic practice, as a purifier and shield. Placing salt in key areas of the home, such as entrances, corners, or under beds, is not magic in itself, but a practical act combined with dua and Qur'anic recitation to ward off negative energy. Recitation of protective verses such as Ayat al-Kursi, al-Falah, and An-Nas is highly encouraged. These verses are powerful spiritual shields that safeguard the believer from unseen harm, including Sihr. Salt serves as a tangible reminder of these protections, making believers more mindful of their reliance on Allah. Mufti Menk often reminds us that the key to protection lies in the balance of action and faith. Using salt, making dua, and maintaining dua are not substitutes for trust in Allah. Rather, they complement it. Believers who act with faith, knowledge, and intention can live in confidence, knowing that no harm from black magic can succeed without Allah's permission. Ultimately, safeguarding against Sihr combines spiritual vigilance, reliance on Allah, and mindful use of permissible natural elements. Creating a holistic approach to protection in daily life, salt is a simple yet powerful tool for protection when combined with faith, dua, and Qur'anic recitation. Islam teaches that seeking protection is not superstition. It is a practical way to implement trust in Allah while remaining mindful of spiritual realities. Knowing where to place salt effectively can help cleanse energy, safeguard your home, and reinforce your reliance on Allah. 1. Near entrances. Placing salt near the main doors and windows of your home serves as a reminder that Allah is the ultimate protector. Entrances are the points where external energy enters your home, and a mindful placement of salt can symbolize spiritual barriers against negative influences. 2. Room corners. Corners often accumulate stagnant energy. Sprinkling salt in these areas helps purify spaces and serves as a conscious act of protection, combined with dua and remembrance of Allah. 3. Under the bed. The space under the bed can carry energy from rest and dreams. Placing salt there reminds the believer that spiritual protection extends to the most private and vulnerable areas of life. 4. In water for bathing. Adding salt to water while bathing can symbolize purification of both body and soul. This practice, paired with supplications, strengthens spiritual defenses. 5. Cupboards and storage areas. These areas hold your belongings, and placing salt inside can act as a symbolic shield to maintain positivity and repel negativity. 6. Around jewelry or personal items. Items that are frequently worn or carried can absorb energy from their surroundings. Salt placed near them reminds you to seek Allah's protection for both yourself and your possessions. Mufti Mel emphasizes that these practices are not magical. They are practical reminders to trust Allah and seek protection through lawful means. When combined with dhikr, dua, and Quranic recitation, salt becomes a tool to reinforce spiritual vigilance and mindfulness in daily life. Ultimately, its effectiveness lies in intention, faith, and regular remembrance of Allah, transforming simple acts into powerful expressions of belief. In Islam, protection from harm, evil eyes, and black magic is a combination of faith, action, and reliance on Allah. No natural element, prayer, or practice has power on its own. It is the intention and trust in Allah that makes any act effective. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ emphasized that nothing can harm a believer except by Allah's will, and nothing can benefit them except what Allah allows. This principle is the foundation for combining faith with practical measures, like using salt for protection. Faith, Iman, is the first pillar. Without a strong connection to Allah, actions lose their spiritual significance. A believer who recites Qur'anic verses such as Ayat al-Kursi, al-Falaq and An-Nas, prays regularly and keeps Allah in mind during daily life, establishes a shield of spiritual security. This trust ensures that fear of harm or superstition never dominates the heart. Action is the complementary aspect. Islam encourages using permissible, natural means to reinforce protection. Placing salt in specific areas, sprinkling it in water, or keeping it near personal belongings are simple yet mindful actions. They do not replace Allah's protection, but act as physical reminders of it. These practices also strengthen awareness and mindfulness, helping believers feel secure in their faith. Mufti Men often reminds us that reliance on Allah, Tawakkul, does not mean inaction. Instead, it means taking practical steps while knowing that ultimate control rests with Allah. When faith and action work together, a believer cultivates both spiritual and practical resilience. Ultimately, combining faith and action teaches Muslims an essential lesson: no tool, charm, or superstition can protect you without Allah. Salt, dua, and Qur'anic recitation become effective only when paired with sincere belief. True protection lies in acknowledging Allah as the sole guardian while implementing His guidance thoughtfully in everyday life.